Here at Titan in St Neots, Cambridge, they've got a fantastic manufacturing facility. They do design, manufacture and assembly. The company's been going 40 years. They've got 75 staff, 15 mills, 7 lathes, gear cutting and grinding facilities. So first of all, let's go over to Paul, who's in their design facility.
Thanks, Colin. Looking radiant as usual. Now, I'm outside the design office here at Titan. Often you go into manufacturing companies or we go into engineering companies, they don't have the design element. In fact, I'd probably hazard a guess around about 7 out of 10 companies don't do in-house design. Well, that's very different here. They do reverse engineering, they do clean sheet design. I'm going to go inside the design office to meet with David, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what the business here, Titan, does when it comes to the design element. David, looks like you're doing something pretty intricate on the screen there. What are you actually designing and what's your role?
Okay, so I'm the senior design engineer at Titan, and I'm responsible for making sure that we deliver our designs on time to the machine shop, so they can have a decent time to manufacture the parts and satisfy the customer's demands.
And I said, is it 4 or 5 guys you've got in here?
Okay, so there's 5 of us working here full time. As you can see, we're a couple of people out. We're, with the responsibilities of the job, we often have to find ourselves in other parts of the business.
I mentioned clean sheet design and reverse engineering, both 2 elements of what you're doing here, aren't they? Yeah. What's the split, and how much of each do you do?
It honestly, it varies from sort of month to month. It's quite unusual. We'll often have sort of 3 or 4 steering racks to design at one time, and then you have a run on dry sump kits, or if someone's doing a particularly large project, of course, you'll get 3 or 4 components from that project, so you can have a run on sort of designing sort of old parts and making them work, so sort of old historic race cars.
And what about the software that you're using? Because that plays a big part, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were an early adopter of 3D CAD. I mean, sort of we started with Mechanical Desktop 1.1, which is an Autodesk product, and so it only literally been out a few months before we sort of took on using that software.
And what is the name of the software currently?
Okay, we use Autodesk Inventor, which is sort of just a good product for us, linking in with our manufacturing.
And how unusual do you think it is for a business, a precision engineering company within, let's say, a 50-mile radius to have a design department as extensive as what you've got here at Titan?
Yeah, I think it's quite unusual, which is sort of why we're here and able to support the companies that we do on our client base. So it's this sort of experience that we have had, and the fact that we have design and manufacturing, and we're able to take the customer's concept, if you like, or his positions that he has, and then turn that into reality for them, basically in the shape of bits of metal.
So after it's designed, it's manufactured, and that's where I'm going to head to now, to the machine shop to meet up with Colin. Thanks, David.
No problem at all.
So I'm now in the front machine shop, and I'm accompanied by Colin. Looks like are you making a mess here? Are you making some scrap?
Oh, well, they won't let me loose on the machine, but nice Gildermeister, twin spindle, driven tooling, but more importantly, an example of what they're making on the machine. Paul, what material?
Steel, but enlighten me.
Well, EN19T, so real tough steel, that one.
Yeah, pretty hard to cut. What's impressive about this machine is this is a Gildermeister linear machine. DMG, which obviously is where the Gildermeister element came from, they introduced linear drive motors onto their machines many years ago, which means they're super fast, super quick. So great turning technology. Should we move on?
Let's move on. We've got here 2 VF2 SS's.
And it looks like they've also introduced a pallet changer onto this machine here, this 2S, which would tell me that they're actually doing production lights out machining.
Correct, 24/7, but also with these they've got high speed, 20 tool station, and a big envelope inside.
Yeah, the VF2 I believe is about an 800 in the X-axis. 2 machines, one's newer there, the 2SS, but the introduction of that Midaco pallet changer here basically means that they've fixtured up. Looks like they've got, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 do I need? Don't need a calculator for that one. But they're actually making 15 parts on 1 pallet per time. Pallet goes in and out of the machine to give you production. Let's move round.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is your show. Tell me about this one.
Well, I'm going to ask you about this. So this is Doosan D&M 502. Paul, 3-axis machine.
This is a 3-axis machining centre. They introduced this into the company about 18 months ago. They've got a Nikon 2-axis table on here, which is enabling them to be able to do the part like we can see on the machine 4 faces of the component, but also the machine has got a big enough working envelope, about 1200 in the X, to be able to put parts on the left of the Nikon table as well. So they've got a lot of flexibility with this Doosan machine from MTDCNC.
So essentially 5 axis and they work on 2 components at one time.
They couldn't machine 2 parts at one time, so there's one spindle, but they can have 2 parts set. Yeah.
Okay, on to the next machine.
This is an interesting setup. We've got a pallet changer here from Meylan, which has been fitted to the machine after the machine was installed, or at some point by the looks of it. Again, you can see here they can set parts, so they can put components in fixtures, in this fixture or in this fixture, and then move the fixtures in and out of the machine. The principal idea is to reduce any downtime, so the machine is permanently running.
So essentially automation, that's by the guys from Mainland.
Yeah, milling automation. We're going to look at some horizontal machining centres in a minute. This is kind of taking a vertical into the production environment.
Right, next machine. This one, Paul.
I'll probably stop at this machine because we're talking about size. So every engineering company has a maximum and a minimum capacity that they can offer to their clients. And this machine here, I would say, by looking at it again, it's probably about a 12 or 1300 metre X-axis.
When you're saying size, the working envelope of the machine.
Correct. And with the way Titan machine lots of castings in the automotive industry, amongst others, maybe steering racks and systems like that, they can be quite long, so you can need machines with bigger working envelopes. And again, another Haas machine.
Yeah, thing there, Haas. Now, Paul, we've actually reviewed this machine before, the Haas EC500. What makes this, different from machines we've already looked at?
Well, this is a horizontal machining centre with a pallet system on it, which is integrated into the machine. So it's a standard equipment.
How many pallets, sorry?
This is a 2-pallet machine. So you've got a pallet inside the machine and then a pallet outside the machine. The principle is that you're loading the pallet outside the machine while the inside's running. Again, you're getting the idea here that this company is very much about production. It's very much about keeping spindles turning. Machining castings on here, they're being able to tackle 4 faces because of the cube element.
An example being these here, which we can't show in full.
Yeah, these parts here. We are going to show one part if we move over to...
So, aluminium casting here, Paul?
Correct. We have already been in the design office, and that's an integral part of this business. They design and they manufacture parts. And this is a steering rack, a Titan steering rack, and this is a part that would be machined on the Haas Horizontal Machining Centre. It's in its casting state at the moment. It's going to be machined, but you can see here there's going to be machining here, there's going to be machining here, there's going to be machining on the flats, and probably on the ends maybe as well. So in all, this is a sort of part that you need to tackle more than one face at once.
Right, so the Haas machine gives you that flexibility in terms of having the pallet change, doing all the operations. Cool. Again, a Haas machine, pallet changer, 2-pallet changer. Talk me through this machine.
Like the machine we just looked at, the EC500, this is a slightly smaller machine, but it does have the 2 pallets, so again it's for production. You can see here they've got castings again, and they're obviously drilling and milling the face of this part, and they're going to be doing that in a production environment as well. So this machine will be running 24/7 maybe, or 24 hours at least 5 days a week. They could probably put 2 of these, I think, by the looks of it, one part this side and one part the other, but you can with a cube obviously put four components in one.
So Paul, tool presetting, another example of why Titan is so efficient.
Yeah, this is a dedicated tool setting department. Every machine in this machine shop obviously has tools to cut the parts that it's cutting. Now, you don't want to be spending time on a machine setting tools because that is a waste of time. So here what they do is every single job has a tool list, and then here you've got the guys here setting those tools, finding out what the lengths of the tools are, the diameters of the tools are, putting them onto the job sheet, and then every job essentially has tools here which are ready to go to the machine like this gentleman is doing now. So the only thing the machines are doing is basically cutting metal, because that's where they're making
So spindles are turning 24/7. Right, we've talked a lot about the milling, haven't mentioned any turning.
Let's go.
some turning here.
Yeah, well, this is their one Haas turning centre. This is an SL30, but they've got several Haas machines as well as the DMG machine we did mention at the start. So we have spoken about turning, but this does kind of finish off the walk around the machine shop. This is a Haas SL30 machine, so a kind of 12-inch chuck lathe. No driven tools on this, but they do have other Haas machines with bar feeds as well. So I think the sort of coverage we've given it so far, you can see anything from multi-axis turning, multi-axis milling, production milling with your horizontals and your pallet changes on your verticals, and then straightforward turning here on your SL30. So a good spread of machines.
A great run through of the whole of Titan machine shop, really. But I'm going to have a chat with someone far prettier than you, Paul, Zoe.
Do they exist?
So, Zoe, machine shop, fantastic facility. Why is it predominantly Haas?
We've worked with them for many years, actually. We have, as you've seen, they're mostly Haas out there. We work with them when we have a specific job and spec exactly what we need, and they match the machine to suit what we require. So they work with the design team to do that.
So providing not just a machine, but a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. So it fits exactly what we need at that moment in time.
And what other services do you provide?
So in addition to the milling and turning that you've seen, we've also got gear cutting, grinding, and vapor honing on site. So it enables us to offer the full package.
Okay, and one facility we haven't mentioned, standing here, is the inspection.
Yeah, absolutely. So quality is at the heart of everything that we do. All of our work comes through here at least twice for every job. Some of our customers demand 100% inspection, and others maybe 1 in 10 or a lower frequency. Because of the nature of our customers, we also offer quality packages. So we also do PPAP and ISIR inspection reports as well. So it depends on what the customers need, but it all comes through here.
Okay, so really giving that quality to your customers, and you've got a lot of high-end customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we deal with a really high range of customers as well. So we can tailor it to whatever they need.
And then the final part of the process is assembly. So shall we head over there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Zoe, the final piece in the jigsaw, assembly.
Yeah, absolutely. So we assemble quite a lot of products for our customers, low to medium volume stuff.
Okay, and you hold stock for call-off as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have customers that place scheduled orders, and we build and deliver to their schedules, so we have stuff in stock to enable us to do that.
And I do recognise this piece.
Absolutely. So the housing was machined on the EC500 that we saw earlier. The internals have been gear cut and ground in-house, and then the rack has been assembled over here, ready to go to the customer.
Zoe, thank you very much for showing us around Titan.
You're very welcome.